Hello, so BadOdd78 here once more with a video that I wasn't really expecting to make for quite a while, probably about 12 months or so. But here I am. So before I get into opening this big old box, very quick story. I have had the Xbox Series X since launch day, which if you watch my previous unboxing you'll know. If not, clearly go and check it out because it's very, very exciting. And yeah, I've liked it. It's been a great system, you know, a lot of potential there. Runs the older games fantastically well, backwards compatibility, quick resume, all of that fantastic. I am slightly underwhelmed with it, to be honest, right now at least, and that's something I'll go on to in a minute. But anyway, I was quite happy. I was going to keep it. The plan was to get a PS5 in about a year or so when I could get a good deal. However, I did hear that there were some available on Amazon yesterday, after obviously all of the pre-orders went out like that. And I thought, do you know what, let's give it a go. So luckily, I think they sold out in about 20 seconds, one of my mates told me today. So yeah, I must have been extremely lucky. Well, lucky presuming that is what's inside this box, because if not, I'm going to be very, very disappointed, and this will be a really, really rubbish video. But yeah, so I thought, well, I don't know which to get, I don't know which to keep. You know, for reasons that I won't go into, I can't really afford at the moment for both consoles or justify £900 on two next-gen consoles. So yeah, I thought, well, I'll take the PS5, I'll try it out, we'll make a decision. I think I am leaning towards keeping the PS5 and selling the Xbox, at least for now. And then, yeah, probably having both next year. But anyway, that's the story. I'll come on to the comparison in a minute, but let's get into this box. Let's double check it is what we think it is. Just for comparison, here's the size of the box that Amazon dispatched this in, compared to that for the Series X. So, big difference. I know this is going to be a massive machine, but let's get and see how big. So, got the old trusty knife on this. As last time, you get a 2 for the price of 1 boxes. The Amazon one is not quite as interesting as what should be underneath. So there we go. We've got some paper, which is always useful. And then underneath that, yeah, there we go. We're not disappointed. We do have a PlayStation 5 disc console. Why anyone would get the discless one, I'll be honest, I'm not sure. That'd be a bit cheaper, but then you're going to be paying the prices for the PlayStation Store. So anyway, let's get this out. And it is a heavy box. And yeah, that's fully what I'm expecting, a heavy, hefty console. But let's see how heavy and how hefty. Let's get into it. So yeah, I mean, the packaging for the Series X was absolutely fantastic. The way that it was sort of nestled inside that box. I think the PS5 is a little bit more sort of old school, you know, kind of thinner cardboard and stuff, but you know, it's about what's inside that counts. That's what my mum always said to me. So let's open this up. Try not to drop it anywhere, but making sure you guys can see as well. So there we go. Like the PS4, it's a sort of outer sleeve with what probably is a nondescript white box under. Let's try and get this out without ripping it. Okay, there we go. Shut that down there for now. Okay. And then, so yeah, nondescript white box. Just got PlayStation symbol there. A little tab. Let's get into that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so another little box inside. Hopefully this is all recyclable. I'm sure it will be. Okay, so, right, there we go. I'm trying to do this because it is a very, very big box, but so you can see as well, without dropping everything. So we've got a controller, which we'll do in a minute, because I'm very excited about that. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Manual, nobody's ever going to read. Quick start, guides, apart from seeing how to screw in the base, which seems a bit crazy. I'll probably never read that. Okay, well, there's the base, okay. So, let's see what this is all about. There we go, okay, interesting. So that has to be used for it vertically and horizontally to hold it stable. I will probably put it horizontal, well, if the decision is taken to keep it, because that's the only way I'll fit, because it is enormous and it won't fit in under my TV any other way. Cable for power, obviously. and HDMI just as obviously. Not very exciting, but it won't really work without it. Okay, so that's all the gubbins that you get with it. So let's look at the controller before we take out the main event. So yeah, I think this is probably, for me at least, the most exciting part of the PS5. And there we go, there's the DualSense controller. So obviously I'm sure you all know about the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. Obviously at the moment they just feel like normal triggers, but first impressions, very comfortable to hold. Sticks look good, a little bit tighter maybe than the PS4 ones. Buttons look nice, clear, plastic. Oh, if you can see that there, and the D-pad. I really didn't like the D-pad on the Xbox, but we'll talk about that in a minute. PlayStation sign's a bit weird, reminds me of one of those little licorice all sorts sweets randomly, but cool. It's obviously got some charge because the light's coming on. So I'll put that to one side, and let's go big or go home. So, oh hang on, forgot that. Yeah, that's the charging cable, USB-C for the controller. Okay, let's take out this. So many boxes and pieces of cardboard here now. This is going to be fun when I want to be gaming, I've got to be cleaning up. Okay, so let's drag this out. There we go, stick that down, out of the way. More cardboard, more paper. Okay, yes, it's big, and yes, it's heavy. You weren't expecting anything different. I know I certainly wasn't. I'm excited to see this in the flesh. I'm still not sure really what I think about it. I mean, it's very obviously different than the Xbox, which is much more sort of understated. It's probably one of those things that's going to grow on you, but yeah, you're definitely noticing this if it's sat on your TV. So let's have a look. Okay, wow, there we go. That's a thing, isn't it? That is a thing. As I said, you're not ignoring that. That's probably the most ostentatious, let's use that word, console. Certainly, I mean the Cyberpunk Limited Edition Xbox was, but as standard edition consoles go, this is, yeah, it's like they're going for the Turner Prize or something. It does obviously look better vertical, but it doesn't look too bad horizontal, definitely better than the Xbox, which looks a bit of a slab. So, okay, let's chuck that out of the way. Let's stick that down there. I do still have the Xbox here, which actually in terms of weight, it's not that different, it's just more compact. So there's the price. The price is the same. There's the size difference between them. So there you go. Who knew that I would have both next-gen consoles in my house so soon? But not for long, honestly. I haven't got 900 quid to blow. Yeah. What do I think? I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think this will take some getting used to. It's all right. It's probably better than I thought when I see it in the flesh. It's actually probably not as big as expected. I don't know why. Maybe just because people talk about it being massive. And it is. I mean, it is big. It's bigger than the original Xbox One, but I think it'll look okay under the TV. I do still like the look of that, vertically at least. I do. It is more understated. It will just sit there and kind of look nondescript under your TV. But yeah, I don't mind the look of the PS5. But as I said, it's the controller really that I'm most excited about. Compare the controller to the Series X controller, which is there. As I said, I would do a little bit of a comparison. Obviously, now I haven't tried the PS5 yet. I will be doing that all this evening. But yeah, just to say what I thought about the Series X so far, I really don't like the controller. I thought I did at first, and actually I really like the triggers. I do. They're a bit sort of stubbier and more responsive than the previous Xbox pad. And I like the textured grip, but not a big fan of the sticks. They seem a little bit sort of a bit loose. But it's the D-pad really. I mean, listen to this. Don't know how well you pick that up. So clicky and just very sort of plasticky feeling. So it's not a bad controller. It feels comfortable to use. I just don't like the clicky D-pad. I prefer the previous one. And yeah, the DualSense is nicer to hold. I mean, I generally prefer PlayStation controllers anyway and the stick layout, but it is more comfortable to hold, and obviously it's much more next gen. I think that's the thing really about the Xbox controller. It's a decent controller, but it's really the same as the previous one with very, very small changes. This is, as I said, probably the most next-gen thing that's available this year. So excited about the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback and the microphone and all of that business. Looking forward to getting stuck into that. But as I said before, I think at the moment at least, there isn't really an amazing reason to get either of these consoles. You can wait quite easily. I've got Spider-Man on order. I'm sure that'll be great. I'm sure it won't be that different to the previous Spider-Man, which was a very good game. I enjoyed it a lot. It does look really good with ray tracing and stuff. But it's not something that's you need to rush out and get immediately, I think. Same with Demon's Souls. I'm a bit on the edge of whether to try that or not, because I know it's very frustrating, but it does look fantastic. Probably the best looking next gen game. But really what I'd say is the PS5 at least seems exciting. It seems new, it seems different. And I know that's about Sony, their whole ethos really as a company is selling you a box to play the games, which, I know some of them are PS4 versions of, things like Spider-Man, but certainly in the medium term, these are going to be experiences you can only play on this box. Whereas Xbox is more about Game Pass and about the services and about the fact you can play them on whichever platform you have, which is a very different way of approaching it. I think Game Pass is fantastic, in terms of value for money and the amount of games that you can play for a small outlay. I think it can't be beaten, with the purchase of Bethesda and EA being included in Game Pass, it's really, really good and can only get better. So I think, in terms of the bang for your buck, if you want to be American about it, the Xbox is probably going to be your best bet. And games like Forza, I mentioned Flight Sim before, I'm very excited about that. So either way, I'll find a way of playing that as soon as it comes out. But it just doesn't seem that next gen all that exciting. I think it was Dreamcast guy who I was watching a video yesterday, and he said it's decent, but it's like you've got your existing PC and you've upgraded the graphics card and you've upgraded the SSD, and that's what it feels like. Like the quick resume is great, you very, very quickly get used to the loading. I've tried Gears Tactics is a really good game if you like strategy stuff, very much got into that, it looks great. Forza Horizon 4 looks great with 60 frames a second. Gears 5 looks great. But I had an Xbox One X before, and they don't look that much better. They do look crisper, they do look a bit more detailed, they certainly play smoother. But really you're just playing the same games. And I think a lot of that's about the front end as well. And I can understand why Microsoft chose to keep the same UI with minor changes. It makes sense, it's cohesive, it goes, it's like a PC. But it just isn't that exciting. I'm much more excited about trying this out. If Halo Infinite was launching, it might be a bit different. If they maybe had a couple of innovations, or even if they ripped off Sony and had some kind of additional force feedback or something else. But at the moment, clearly I've had this a week and a half. I'm holding this up like this is the console. I've had this a week and a half, so it isn't going to be as exciting as something that's been brand new into the house today. But like I said, I'm excited. I do like the Sony first party stuff. Obviously Microsoft first parties are still a bit of an unknown, although I think it'll be 18 months or 2 years before you see what their new studios are coming out with. But yeah, the Sony ones are incomparable really, certainly at the moment. And this is the only way, well again, within the next 12 months or so, this is the only way that you're going to be able to play them. So I'm holding it upside down, aren't I? There we go. This is the only way that you're going to be playing them. So yeah, very excited to get this plugged in. As I said, final decision hasn't been taken yet, but I'm leaning towards keeping hold of this for now. I'm not going to scalp anybody, but if people want to pay me more for the Xbox, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with that. And then later on down the line, I will find a way of either getting a Series X or a Series S or something, maybe in the next year or so. Like I said, Flight Sim, and I need to play the next Forza Horizon. I think those games are fantastic. But yeah, there we go. So the unboxing that I wasn't expecting for quite a while. I hope you enjoy it. I hope if you've got a PS5 or an Xbox, that you're having fun with it. Let me know your thoughts. As I said, I think it's going to be next year, or even the tail end of next year, when we start getting things like the new Horizon, God of War, the new Forza, Halo Infinite for the Xbox, hopefully Flight Sim soon. That's really when they're going to take the world by storm really. But yeah, if you want one of these, I hope you've managed to get it. I am very, very lucky. You know, I don't want to harp on about that. It was just, yeah, dumb luck getting on there at the right time. So yeah, that's enough for me. I'm going to go and have a play. I have to set this up, get going, and yeah, I might give you my thoughts on it all soon. So thanks very much for watching, and Bad Odds 78, check it out. Bye bye.